Handoff, Adrian up the middle, room to the 20, cuts to the left to the 25, and Adrian's loose! He splits the defense! 50, 40, 30, goodbye, baby! Touchdown!
We bleed purple, and our bones are gold. Hear the horns coming out of our dome, behold. We are Minnesota Vikings fans. We love when a player scores, we roar, ignite the stands.
Hello there, Vikings fans. You are listening to the Purple People podcast. My name is Kyle West. I am accompanied by Adam Carlson.
Heyo.
Kyle Smith.
Hey.
We are here to talk about Vikings football.
We are.
Excited?
Always.
We thought that would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. We're going to mix it up this week, talk about the Vikings a little bit.
We got a little bit other than Vikings football to talk about this week, but at least we'll have something to keep the discussion going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, welcome to episode number 137 of the Purple People podcast. This one is titled Russell Wilson's War. I don't know if you know it, but a little event called the Super Bowl went on this weekend.
Never heard of it.
We'll talk about it a little bit later. But first, as always, the quick hits.
They're Adam's favorite, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They are. You guys know how much I love offensive linemen, right?
I had no idea.
Well, longtime Minnesota Vikings center Mick Tingelhoff was inducted into the 2015 class for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Really excited about that. Guy was an absolute monster, never missed a game. Deserves it so much, so much. Mick, congratulations.
Yeah, he played for a very long time for the Vikings.
17 seasons.
Yep, he blocked for like 4 different running backs that all went to Pro Bowls and had good seasons, and just, I mean, he was with the team for a long time. Very deserving player to get into the Hall of Fame, I think.
Absolutely. When you notice, too, when he came out on the stage at the honors, I don't know if you guys watched that, but he was crying so hard he could barely walk. And to me, that was absolutely awesome to watch.
It was pretty intense. You get all these great names, like, been waiting on Jerome Bettis for a little while. And then, Mick gets in, and you just see, like, the emotion pouring out. It was pretty intense. But it was fun. I hope if people didn't get to see it, you guys can go back. I'm sure they'll replay it sometime this week.
And I'll get a little hate on this one here, but I thought one member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class didn't quite deserve it.
Oh, who was that?
Drum roll.
Jerome Bettis.
Really?
I think he got in based on name recognition.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
I don't think that his accomplishments on the field really... I know he had some high-profile situations and things like that, but I think there were more deserving candidates within the class. Still, congratulations to him. It's a big achievement. It's something I'll never achieve, but I just think that there were a couple more deserving people. He could have got in a little later or something like that, but hey, at least Mick got in. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, I pulled up some quick stats from him really quick because I feel like he's a name that this is way back there for the Vikings. Not a lot of people, even myself included, don't know a lot about him, especially a center is not a flashy position. He joined the Vikings as an undrafted free agent in 1962 and started all 240 regular season games and 19 playoff games during his 17-year NFL career, and he never missed a start.
Nope.
Never missed a start. So I think that
4
is...
Super Bowls under him. And he literally touched the ball every play.
Yeah, he snapped for Hall of Fame quarterback Fran Tarkenton and blocked for 4 running backs that earned Pro Bowl honors, including Chuck Foreman. So, yeah, was a big part of the early history of the Vikings.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Another Viking was honored in the past weekend. Teddy Bridgewater was named the Pepsi Rookie of the Year. Now, keep in mind, this is not the AP Rookie of the Year. The Pepsi Rookie of the Year is voted on by fans. The AP Rookie of the Year is voted on by Associated Press and members of the media. But still, for Teddy Bridgewater to win the Pepsi Rookie of the Year award, it shows that the fans have gotten behind him and have really embraced him. And that's awesome for a guy that was getting so much criticism coming through the draft process and even through the draft day. I think Bridgewater has won over a lot of Vikings fans and football fans in his rookie year.
This is where I can take my 30 seconds and rant. First off, I want to say thank you, Skip Bayless. I posted that on the Facebook page not too long ago. You can eat all of that crow that you decided to put out there for the world. But I think the best thing that I saw, I don't know if anybody else out there is weird like me, but I carry my laptop everywhere. So I was just moseying around, nothing to do the other night. I watched Teddy get interviewed a couple days before this was going down. And they said, make your plea. Why should people vote for you? And I don't know if you guys watched this, but he said, I'd vote for Odell Beckham.
I made that post on our Facebook page.
It's the most classy thing you could say. I mean, Odell's a beast. He's definitely an internet wonder now, making all kinds of records and whatnot. But for Teddy to come around and be one of the hottest quarterbacks late in the season, he made history. We talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was really cool. Stay humble, but hey, the fan votes, they got to count for a little something. So at least he knows he's got the support of a lot of people out there.
Oh, absolutely.
I really feel like if any player is going to stay humble, it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater. Like, nothing is going to get to his head, and it's not going to inflate his ego. Like, he's going to come back and be ready to work and ready to learn and continue to improve. And that's what's so exciting about him.
Absolutely. On to the next thing. The NFLPA's lawsuit against the NFL on behalf of Adrian Peterson will be held this Friday. I would not expect any immediate results on this hearing at all. But it's an event that could help get him back on the field for next season. You never know.
This is going to be ugly and drawn out, and I don't think it's going to be resolved before the April 15th deadline. But hey, you know what? It's something to talk about, I guess, for the Vikings.
Yeah, it'll keep us in business here with podcasting.
It's like Groundhog's Day. How much more could you possibly say that you haven't already said? Like, we're just repeating ourselves just over and over and over and over
and
again.
Put your little hand in mine.
Oh.
Smash the clock and start it all over.
Uh-huh. So more AP news coming on Friday. Maybe.
More AP news coming right now.
Yeah. Oh,
He
that's
had a
right.
foot race with comedian Kevin Hart that appeared to be much closer than a lot of people thought it would be. Sure, Adrian might have looked like he stumbled a little bit at the beginning, but I don't know. Adrian might have lost a step. What do you guys think?
Well, there you go. Trade him now.
Hey, just to credit, I have disappeared off the social media world, but I did follow Kevin Hart on Instagram, and I'm going to tell you what. I know it's got to be because he's a celebrity. He's got to keep in shape. That dude is in shape. So I'm not going to discredit Kevin Hart, but even with AP tripping, he still wasn't going to beat him. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see something about AP that wasn't related to his off the field issue this season. That was nice.
Yeah,
So
no
very
kidding.
true. In lighter news, NFL.com released a countdown of their top 10 favorite sack dances from the season. The top 10 featured two players from the Minnesota Vikings. Can you guys guess them?
We all know what one is.
Corey Wooten.
Yes.
Corey Wooten, definitely.
You betcha. Best robot
Oh, yeah.
I've ever seen.
It reminded me of like Conky from Pee-wee's Playhouse. I don't know why.
I don't even know what it reminded me. It reminded me of the word awesome. Like, that's what it reminded me of.
I'm
So,
gonna
What's
I'm
the
gonna
second?
go with the other. I'm gonna go with Brian Robinson.
It sure was. It was the Fisher man.
Yes. No, I haven't looked at that yet, but that's awesome.
Nice job, nice job. Although there is something for Everson Griffin's just muscle pose that's downright impressive in its own right.
Who was the kid from Baylor that was all swole, and there's a lot of memes about him out there? That's who he reminds me of when he does that.
Oh, that
Just
guy.
scares the hell out of everybody. Yeah.
We talked about him last show, and it took me like 2 minutes to remember his name, and then I finally did, but I'm not going to do it today.
That's all right.
I can't think of it either.
Just everybody, that's your homework. Go back and listen to last week's episode now. Thanks.
Yeah. Everson's tattoos that he's got to say 100% real on his massive forearms, or biceps, excuse me, is part of what makes his sack dance so awesome.
You can't even call it a dance. He's just like, yep, here it is.
Just like,
This is
yep,
it.
pythons, bam.
My last quick hit, Larry Fitzgerald won the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award at the NFL Honors, beating out Chad Greenway. But let's be honest, Larry Fitzgerald is as close to a Minnesotan as you can get. And both do fantastic work for the community and everything, so hey, I consider them both winners.
And you know what? This is corny, but there are no losers when you come around to like former Viking Jared Allen getting the Salute to Service Award,
Right.
Larry Fitzgerald winning the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award. You don't lose if you're up there for grabs and that. Everybody's doing positive stuff. And I want to twist this around. With all the negative crap, this has been a negative media publicity year for the NFL. For stuff like this to still be going on and people to press and do things in the community, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, stuff like this will never get the focus. It's the shock and awe. It's the disaster. It's when big bad things happen. That's what it all is. Nobody really wants that. But as soon as something happens that's just absolutely disgusting or mind-blowing, it just blows people's minds. Like Terrence Cody. Have you guys been following his situation?
I have not.
He just got arrested for unlawfully harboring an alligator.
I did see you tweeted out something about an alligator and getting arrested, and I was like, I wonder what Adam's talking about. Well, now I know.
Yep, Mount Cody. I don't understand it, but I kind of like it. Next time I get arrested, that's what I want it to be for.
I agree, too. I will take that charge.
Because it just sounds badass. I don't know.
Oh,
I learned something today.
All right, so I want to thank you guys, too. Because with you guys both choosing the Patriots to win the Super Bowl, you offset my vote for the Seahawks, and the Purple People podcast was correct in their Super Bowl prediction of the New England Patriots winning the Super Bowl. Good job, guys.
Strength in numbers, right?
Hey, you got a 50-50 shot. You might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not the one that got it wrong. That's this guy right here.
That's all right.
But what'd you guys think of the game? Did you enjoy it?
It was way better than last year's.
Yeah, no kidding. It was a fun game. I liked it. A lot of drama there right at the very end. Especially when the Royal Rumble broke out right at the end and they all started fighting one another. Like, come on, that was awesome.
I actually think the worst moment for the Seahawks wasn't even that interception. So sure, it was a bad idea, bad play call, bad execution and everything on trying to pass on that 1 yard line play. Yeah, but why would you go offsides when they're going to take a knee in the end zone and probably give you a safety?
Well, they were trying to do the old Greg Schiano rush up the middle.
Why? They're in the victory formation.
Well, but still, it's Super Bowl. They were trying to rush up the middle, try to get the ball back any way possible. I get that, but why would you jump offsides in that situation? I have no idea. And then seeing them all fight.
Safety's only going to give you 2 points anyways. I mean, that was
But then
crazy.
you get the ball, too.
Yeah.
There was still like 30
time.
seconds left and a timeout or two, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember how many timeouts they had. I just remember there was the 20-second interception that blew my mind. But I've had that discussion all week now. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a minute.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you've all seen the memes going around with Michael Jordan talking to his coach and them talking about how they were going to have Bill Cartwright take the game-winning shot and all that stuff. They're funny, and it's interesting, but I really do feel bad for some of the guys. Richard Sherman, playing through that game with his injury, he played a shutdown game. He had one of the games of his life, and I feel bad for him that his team couldn't pull through for him.
Who was the
This
player?
is going to be tough. Go ahead.
Oh, I would say, who was the player, the wide receiver for Seattle? What was his name?
The guy that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I can't even remember his name. Yeah, it's like, well, that dude made a name for himself in the Super Bowl. Like, you do kind of feel a little sorry for them just based on that one really stupid play to cost them the game, but that's what makes football interesting. Like, it can come down to one play.
This is going to be talked about for years. And for the life of me, like everyone else, by the way, most watched event in TV history, most watched Super Bowl ever. That was pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But just for the life of me, you have beast mode and you have 1 yard and you have literally 4 chances to get it in. But I'm telling you, if there's anybody that had enough class to own it, Pete Carroll owned that a million times. He took every interview. He was in depth. He didn't try to rush around. He took the blame. And you know what?
I don't know. He pushed a little bit of it on Lockett.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part, but I'm sure that I'm sure this will be talked about, like I was saying, for years to come. Because I'm not gonna lie to you. I called the Patriots winning by a touchdown last week, but if you would ask me 26 seconds before the game was going to be over, I would not have thought that at all.
If you were on the Viking Age, you saw me post up the prediction that Madden had made about the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
They got the Julian Edelman go-ahead touchdown at the end of the game right, and they got the exact final score. So good job, Madden. I just couldn't believe that it was right on the nose.
It's conspiracy, that's why.
But think.
There were also plenty of former Vikings on that Seahawks team that could have used a ring. I would have loved to have seen Kevin Williams get one. T-Jack could have used his second. I blame this loss on T-Jack not being out there for the coin flip at the beginning. Who made that decision?
Yeah,
Yep.
clearly that is where they made the mistake.
That's the big mistake.
Think about this for a minute. Have you guys ever seen a game where momentum has shifted like that drastically, that quick? It's like a play before you have the Seattle receiver that bobbles the ball up into the air and catches it on his back. And that should have been the play that we're all talking about right now.
Should.
But
Yep.
it's not. We're talking about what happens after that and the interception.
When a rookie makes the interception
Yeah.
of his life. And the best part was, I texted one of my best friends. I'll give you a shout out today. He's not going to listen to it because he's a damn Patriots fan. But I called my friend Greg Caldarelli up there in Boston, and I said, 3rd time in a row. Are you serious? I mean, I thought that there was just a sick joke being played on TV. And, of course, 2 minutes later, there they are. The Patriots win the Super Bowl. But I just, for the life of me, you can't make those catches up that have happened to the Patriots the last 3 times they've been in the Super Bowl. But luckily, their rookie, I believe it was a safety, came up with that play of his life.
Mm-hmm.
Less than a year ago, that player that got the game-winning interception for the Patriots was working at Popeye's Chicken for a living.
Oh my gosh,
Amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Those
Those are the kind of stories that you love.
That is why, when it comes to draft time, you can get caught up about how you should give up your entire draft to go up for one player. But, man, if you're good at scouting, you can find these guys. Like, they're out there. Mick Tingelhoff, we just said undrafted, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So, like, it...
John Randall, too, I believe, right?
Yep, John Randall went undrafted.
I mean, the Vikings, they have had a history of picking up some of these just dominant free agents.
Mm-hmm.
This leaves me 2 questions for you guys and for the listeners out there. I'm going to go in the reverse order here. So a lot of the guys, like you said, with good scouting on Seattle's team, 2nd, 3rd round picks, whatever, they're going to need to get paid because that's a very, very established defense. There's a lot of big names there.
Right.
I don't think they're going to be the same team because there's going to be some guys who want their money, and rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
So how long, I wouldn't say if, it's just when, how much longer can Seattle stay together, or at least most of the nucleus of that team stay together? And the second one, this is going to be the debate the entire offseason, and maybe we can drag it out or keep it simple. I'm going with Tom Brady for the greatest of all time now. What do you guys think? What's your take on that?
Your first question, I think that a lot of the problems with the Seahawks will come when they have to get Russell Wilson paid. Mm-hmm. Because he's gonna get more than Andy Dalton. And Andy Dalton's making a boatload.
And he's garbage. But anyways.
He could ask for close to Jay Cutler money. That's going to make it really hard for them to pay anybody else.
They will be good for as long as they have Pete Carroll as their head coach. Because you could have made the same case years ago about New England when they have player contracts coming up. And New England found a way to make it work because, they have a good head coach in place. They have a great head coach.
And a quarterback that was willing to take a huge pay cut so they could sign players.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I am going to say that Russell Wilson is not going to pull a Jay Cutler and just completely fudge his team over and sign a massive contract. I actually think that this kid is going to be willing to take a lesser contract to help retain better players on his team. I think he would do that.
Couldn't agree more.
It'll be interesting to see. Because you never know. It's not always him. It could be outside influences. I mean, like, maybe he's got a money-grubbing wife. Maybe his agent is just absolutely filthy animal. You never know.
Yeah, it is hard saying, but I
agree with almost everything you guys said. Pete Carroll is going to be the foundation Russell's not going anywhere. He's very young and he's awesome. But you got to worry about your running game. Marshawn is that offense. Is he going to be there? And then you want to focus, not the offense. Let's go to the defense. We have so many players that need to get paid. And then you've got to worry about getting a good deep threat. I mean, I obviously they can make it to the Super Bowl with their receiving core, but you're going to need a true number one receiver. And I don't believe they have one.
Here's my question for you.
What's that?
After the Super Bowl and that decision to pass on the goal line, do you think that will influence some teams' decisions to go after Darrell Bevell as a head coach?
Yes.
I would say yes, but I don't think it's fair because ultimately Pete Carroll is going to be the guy to give the call for that. Or I've had this happen too. Somebody whispered on my ear, I hate to keep playing back and forth questions. If you're Russell and you're going to pass, why don't you just call an audible?
I don't know. Is he allowed to?
That's a little tougher. I don't know if he's at the stage in his career like, your Brett Favre could get out there and Brett Favre can audible to whatever he wanted to, and no one's going to say anything because that's the legend Brett Favre.
Yeah, for a young quarterback to go out there in a game-winning situation in the Super Bowl, to audible out of a coach's decision, I don't know. That would take some balls, man.
That would be amazing. And we can play the what if game now that we've seen what happened and what should have went down. But that read option is deadly, and I could see that working out very well.
That was exactly where I thought they were going to go.
Him being the game-winning hero 2 years in a row, third season, 2 Super Bowls. That's the story of a lifetime. But
why risk putting the ball in the air?
It's one of those things, though, guys, where it's like you only got 2 options. You're either going to run it or you're going to pass it. And I realize that it makes considerably more sense to run it in that situation. But if that would have been a touchdown, we would have been sitting here talking about how ballsy and awesome of a move that was by Pete Carroll to do that because nobody would have been expecting it. So
when things go well, nobody complains.
Yeah.
I think the funny thing is, too, all the players, well, not all of them, but a lot of the players, and they had celebrities, they were showing tweets. Everybody was just murdering them. And I can't remember for the life of me who it was that says, when you do it right, everyone loves you. But if you fail, everyone crucifies you. And that's what made me think of that. I mean,
absolutely true.
They would have been heroes if that pass would have been completed.
We're going to close the show with something a little different instead of talking about anything Vikings, because we haven't been talking about much Vikings all show anyway. Let's talk about the halftime show. What do you guys think of that?
Entertaining and trippy.
I loved how they used the floor with the different screens to make it look like it was tilting and falling apart and everything. That was actually really cool. But I don't think anything got as much attention as those people in the shark costumes. That is everywhere. I don't know if you guys have been seeing all the memes and the jokes and everything.
I loved the shark costumes. It was awesome. Like, that was one of the stranger halftime performances I think I've seen. Like the part where she got on the weird star that circled
the more you know star.
Yeah, like, and then my dad was like, "Is she gonna fly through the roof? Like, what's going on?"
Shoot across the sky.
Oh.
It was a good entertainment. Like as far as visuals go, my wife was just killing her and saying that she wasn't really performing that well. But I think when you bring in Lenny Kravitz, I think the way that they changed up one of the songs and brought in Missy Elliott, it had everything you could ask for. The cool thing, though, if you watched her little press conference, she said that this is what her tour consists of for 2 hours and 10 minutes, wherever she stops at in whatever town, whatever night. So if you go see her, that's what you're going to get to see for 2 hours. So
strangely, I was the most disappointed about Lenny Kravitz. I just didn't feel like it really belonged. It was odd. It seemed out of place. But boy, I don't know if it's like the age group in me or what, but I loved seeing Missy Elliott out there.
Oh.
I hated seeing Katy Perry in the big coat, though. She's got to take that off.
Yes, that and considerably more. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm right with you on that one.
Yeah.
No, my favorite meme of the whole thing is at the beginning of the Super Bowl halftime, Katy Perry came out on this gigantic, like, gold mirror ball lion.
Awesome.
I wanted her to fall off of that so bad.
And that thing was amazing. But I don't know if you guys have seen the memes about that, because it said the first time a lion has ever been in the Super Bowl. It's true.
I knew that was coming.
And it's kind of funny. But man, that hurts if you're a fan of Detroit.
Oh, it is not my style of music by any shot. Like, if it was up to me, we'd have like the Melvins out there playing halftime at the Super Bowl or something. But it was weirdly entertaining in just how kind of bizarre the performance was. Like, people in shark costumes and a really big lion thing, and then she got on a star, and for some strange reason, Lenny Kravitz was there at one point, but if you blinked, you missed him, and it's like, huh? I don't know. It was cool. It was just weird and cool
It was very
at the same
different.
time.
It's the best one I've seen since Prince.
Yeah.
And I love me Prince. I do.
Yeah, Prince is absolutely a genius. I liked last year's better, if you want to know the truth. I love Bruno Mars. I love the Red Hot Chili
I thought
Peppers.
Bruno Mars did real well last year.
Absolutely, but this one was out there for me, but it was very entertaining.
You know what wasn't very entertaining, though, was the commercials.
Oh, my Lord, they were depressing.
Can we talk?
Yeah, the dead kid commercial, come on. And the 911 spousal abuse commercial, oh my God, come on.
Have
How
you
about the
seen?
insecure little girls for the Playtex? I mean, I wanted to cry last night. I was supposed to laugh at the Super Bowl commercials. Come on.
Have you seen the memes going around for the dead kid thing?
No, I haven't seen
Oh,
those.
good Lord. The internet works so fast. Almost immediately after that commercial ended, people were memes just going out for it, just left and right.
Is it as bad as the Coke commercial where they were actually like showing all the different people from the world singing?
No, someone posted the picture of that kid with the caption of, "I would like to see Katy Perry perform at halftime, but I died already," or something.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
But yeah, the commercials were so disappointing this year. Other than the Brady Bunch with Danny Trejo.
Yeah, Danny Trejo made up for it, and I know you're not a Breaking Bad fan, but the one with Bryan Cranston where he came out as Heisenberg, that one, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, like, that made up for pretty much everything
I
else.
strangely liked the Loctite commercial.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic.
I have no reason for liking it.
Oh.
It was awkward. I shouldn't have liked it.
It's kind of
But I did.
strange that the overall theme for the commercials was apparently just be nice to someone. Like,
Yeah.
has our country really gotten to that point where we have to have Super Bowl commercials that just remind us to...
What does it mean to throw like a girl?
That's
Really?
that's the one that got me. That one was out there, and then to find out what it was actually sending a message for. And have you noticed they went so in depth with all these inspirational or all like in depth crazy stories, and then they're all car commercials.
Oh yeah.
That's because we're
Everyone.
all just horrible to one another.
We are. We're
Yeah.
terrible. Oh,
On that note,
so
thank you for
awful.
listening to the Purple People podcast.
We're all evil people. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
But that's all I have for this week anyway. Do you guys have anything else you want to throw in there?
Oh.
Stay patient. This is the most horrible week of the year. And you knew it was coming, but the draft is not that far away, and we're going to do lots of analysis for that.
Next week, I think we're going to start talking about some of the Vikings' positions of need.
Ooh.
So this should be pretty fun. I think next week we're going to be covering a different two positions on the offense. I haven't decided which yet, so if you guys have any that you want to hear, go ahead and suggest them on the Facebook page or on Twitter. But other than that, I think we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Check us out on Facebook, Purple People Podcast on there. Me and Kyle Smith will be over there handling operations. Kyle West will take care of things on Twitter at Purple People Pod.
Woohoo!
And you can check us out anytime. iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, Viking Age. We're all over. We're worldwide, man. Stay classy, Minnesota.